Oh yeah. And Psycho.
I'm just a sick man living in the sick land, smoking on the smoke of a billboard romance. Anybody know where the pigs put my coat go? Change them plates on a powder blue soda. No, it ain't Johnny 3T. Not till the gun gets number 3. I'm sick on sick shit, it's just like me.
Never forgotten. This is the anthem for this sick and rotten. Never forgotten.
So then Scream 4.
The grand finale.
This one I have a little bit more mixed feelings on. The ending, I can't really say that I hate it. Can't really say that I like it. I kind of like it. It's just a certain, I like the motive, but kind of maybe the way they went about it, I was like, I don't know.
I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it was really cool.
Like, I thought it was interesting. I liked it. The idea of it, I liked. I don't know what it was exactly. Maybe it was just...
Okay, so I was like her niece, Sydney's niece, is the final villain.
Yeah.
I wasn't super convinced by her motive. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, I feel like there was more to it. I could maybe understand it if like she was like maybe a secondary killer or something like that, and she had something else going on as well. But then I realized it's like, oh, this is Sidney Prescott's relative, so it needs to be her to make it more impactful. But I just wasn't really convinced by her motive. It's just like, it was like, of course, like a betrayal type of situation. You're betraying your aunt, but it just wasn't super believable to me. I mean, it was a cool ending. Like, all the scenes and stuff like that were all cool.
Yeah.
I just wasn't super convinced.
As far as like, I think that every single movie has done a decent job of with coming up with a motive. But yeah, it was like, I like the motive, though the way they kind of did it, it's like, I want to be convinced a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like you're saying.
I felt like it was just enough for me, at least, like for me to be
Yeah.
like, okay. I think at first, when it first hit me, I was like, really? Are you sure? Like that's what you're going for? But it worked for me. I think well, and I guess first, like, just quickly, the intro to this movie I thought was really cool. Sort of like the step 5 or step 5, step
Yeah.
6. That was kind of funny.
Yeah. That was funny.
Because actually, I hadn't seen this movie for a really long time, so it's cool to rewatch it. But yeah, also I wanted to mention one negative for me, and it's sort of it's not really the movie, it's not the script or anything like that. Did this movie seem like it had like a really weird like a brightness to it?
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that?
Yeah. Yeah. After,
maybe
because
a little.
you watched it, you rewatched it before I rewatched it,
Yeah.
and you told me about it. So all the lights have this weird glare to
Hue to
them.
that. Yeah, it's weird.
And like, I did not notice until you said something about it. I was like, wow, this is
And then
this is
it's
kind
like
of annoying.
really in your face after that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird because like it's lights, it's the sunlight. You know, they're in a store and just the background's blurry and like it just kind of adds a blur to it because of it. And it's like, is this on purpose? This is an artistic choice? Like, it's kind of odd.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to say because normally, I mean, Ghostface is Ghostface, but I actually feel like in a lot of ways he might be, well, I mean, she might be the most menacing in this movie out of maybe any of them, at least in my opinion, because like there's like so many scenes where she like does some like crazy thing,
Yeah.
like crazier things than like any of like the ones before it.
Yeah.
But,
I do find like, so her accomplice being the Randy character. I don't remember what his name was.
longer haired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually Macaulay Culkin's brother.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name in the movie.
But so like his place was like he was kind of the new Randy.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like, let's make a twist, make him evil. I liked it, but I don't know. Like, I kind of wish there's a little bit more to him as well. Like, it was
In a
just
way,
like, So he was fine, I guess, but
He was fine
Yeah.
as a secondary.
one of the main things that I did like about this one is because of like the rating system back then, how they were held back with those movies. They're not held back with this one.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
a little bit bloodier and
Yeah.
stuff. One of my favorite kills, like kind of in the Scream series period, is when the two cops So it's super cheesy, but I think it fits. Because the first cop's whatever, but just the fact of the other cop being like, oh, like, so they're talking, and then Ghostface runs up behind the other cop. I don't know if he just slits his throat or stabs him or something. So the other cop's like, oh shit, and he's like, got his seatbelt on, so he's like kind of struggling, and then he like gets out, but then Ghostface just stabs him in the forehead and then pulls it right out. And just that kill right there, I don't know, it's cheesy, it's kind of weird, but I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I don't know, it felt so corny to me when he's like walking along the car and he's like talking. It just felt so weird to me.
Yeah,
like, I don't know,
was
it didn't
weird.
quite fit for me, but that might be one of the only scenes that didn't quite work
The first
for me.
time I saw it, I was like, and then
I'll have to
like,
rewatch it,
but
maybe.
then after rewatching, I was like, oh, I'm actually super into this because he's just like, fuck, and
I
then
might
he's
have
just
to give it a
getting out.
rewatch or something and see if
Yeah,
I
and
might
then
like
like
it
it
more.
just keeps bleeding, and like that was pretty good effects that they were doing.
You were mentioning your favorite scene. I think I really like the. I don't remember who it is. I just remember like the visual of it when Ghostface is over in the other house across the way and they're looking through the window.
Ooh, yeah.
And you see like the blood all over the place. Like
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was like her friend.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and
across the
I
way.
liked Sydney in this movie. And do you guys get what I mean when I say this could have been a direct sequel to the first one?
because it could have just taken place that many
much time
years.
That many
later.
years later, but then it could have been like the niece, and that could have made like it could have kept it personal.
Yeah, that is one thing that makes me so like impressed with that. This is the fourth one, and it still holds
Consistently good. Yeah, man, I like that. I mean, I guess like the ending, the hospital scene, I like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like just between all the characters and kind
up.
of
Did you like the clear?
I think it's cheesy, but it's cool, and I just love Sydney's line that "Don't fuck with the original." I love that.
Oh yeah, that
This
was
is her badass little last one line.
that was a great way to do that. I really liked all the comeback of all the characters. and
They
stuff.
all like
they all still
felt
good.
like their characters. Like that's what was awesome, and that's one thing I think this improves on over 3. Is this does bring back the good supporting characters that I liked from 1 and 2.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
all of them pretty much stay the same. And then Courtney Cox, she had her hair in all of the sequels, and then the fourth one, her hair's fine, but then she's got Botox. And so, yeah, it's always kind of fun. There's always something
looks
about
good.
her.
I
she
do
looks
I do
fine,
like
but-
the story, the consistent story throughout this movie in particular. I just do.
Mm-hmm.
I like her going back and all that. So many years later and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I do like Scream 4. It's sort of like, I feel like you could ask me some days if I liked Scream 2 or if I liked Scream 4, and I might tell you that. I might like Scream 4 like a hair more than 2, but I might like Scream 2 a hair more than 4 some days. I
any-
think 3
So what you're saying is your
I think-
favorite is 3?
If
That's
anything,
exactly what I'm
Scream
saying.
4, I think Scream 4 helps a lot the fact that it's not being held back by the rating system.
Totally,
And that is one of the main things that makes it quite good.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, like, I think people talk about a lot is that it's like, oh, you shouldn't care if it's like rated R or something like that. But there are things that you just can't do unless it's like a higher rating.
Exactly.
Well, the problem is a lot of PG-13 movies, they're not like, oh, we're going to make a PG-13 movie. They're like, oh, we want to do this hardcore thing, but then we're going to edit it down to a PG-13
yeah,
movie. And you
exactly.
can tell that they're editing it. So
Yeah.
it's the editing. It's the,
Fair.
I want to see what they filmed. I don't want to see this chopped up bullshit.
Exactly.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Scream 2
Yeah.
through 4. Yeah.
3 through 4.
Like we said.
I personally, Scream 1, of course, is on top. Scream 3, it's so hard. I think it's slightly better than 2. Slightly. Just because of the second act. I like Randy a lot in Scream 2 and stuff. It's that second half, I think Scream 2 just drops off quite a lot. And if I'm doing a marathon, I feel like Scream 2 might be the one that I get bored of the most. So, yeah. And then Scream 4 is, I would say, probably the last, just because of the way the ending kind of plays out with the motive. Still like the motive, just the way it played out just felt a little off to me. But I did enjoy how she just like really goes ham on beating the shit out of herself.
Oh, yeah.
Because like she could have done like one of those things and probably been fine. She does like 5 different things, breaks the table, stabs herself,
right.
like it's crazy.
Yeah, I like that reference to the first one.
Yeah. Same.
Like
Definitely.
I did like that. Like that was one of the parts in the ending that I did like. I don't know. It's really hard for me to like pick a favorite. Like I think like in my mind like 4 just because of like that kind of ending. Like maybe it's a little bit lower down there, but they all kind of are 1 to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will buy the
it's
whole
super hard.
Blu-ray package and
And
watch them all.
not worry about like skipping any of them.
Yeah,
I
like
know.
the thing is with my ranking, it's all just by a smidge, you know. But yourself,
Definitely, I'd go 1 bookends, 3 bookends, 2 and 4 sometimes. They're just like,
yeah, I feel it.